Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's lecture, we will be learning about the concepts which are required for Riemann integration. The set n of natural number is usually denoted by n. We denote the set, let's say 1, 2, 3 and so on, of all positive integer by n. Each positive integer n has a successor, namely n plus 1. Now there are some few properties which are important as far as the set of natural number is concerned. The first property is 1 belongs to n. If n belongs to n, then its successor n plus 1 also belongs to n. For example, if 1 belongs to n, then its successor, namely 2, belongs to n. But the number 1 is not the successor of any element in n. The fourth property says, if n and m are any two element in n, have the same successor, then n equal to m. That is, the successor of any two element, if they are same, then the element has to be same. The fifth property says, a subset of n which contain 1, a subset of n which contain 1 and which contain n plus 1, then it must equal to n. Now secondly, we will talk about the set Q of rational number. It is the set of all numbers which are of the form m by n, where m and n are integers and n is not equal to 0. Note that Q contain all terminating decimal constant, such as, for example, if I take the value of 1.492, then this is basically nothing but 1492 divided by 1000. So the number which is having a terminating decimal is known to be a rational number. The basic algebraic operation in Q are basically addition, that you can add to rational number, multiplication, you can multiply to rational number. Given a pair AB of rational number, the sum A plus B and product AB also represent the rational number. That is, the set is closed under addition as well as multiplication. Moreover, the following properties also put. So I have used A for addition properties, M for multiplication properties. What is the addition property? The first property says addition is associative. Value of A plus B plus C is same as A plus B plus C for all ABs. The value of A plus B is same as B plus A. This is known to be a addition is commutative. That is, you can change the order, but the value remains same. A plus 0 is equal to A. This 0 is called an additive inverse of A. The fourth addition property says, for each A, there is an element, namely minus A, such that A plus minus A is equal to 0. And this minus A is known to be a multiplicative inverse of A. Sorry, it is known to be a additive inverse of A. Because by adding minus A to A, you are getting 0, that is the additive identity. Now the multiplication properties. So first property is again the multiplication is associative. So value of A into BC is same as AB into C for all ABC. Now multiplication is commutative as well. So value of AB is same as BA for all AB. So these are some addition property as well as multiplication property which hold for the set of rational number. Now another multiplication property, A into 1 is equal to A for all A. The number 1 is known to be a multiplicative identity. The fourth multiplicative property, for each A non-zero, A may be positive, negative, for each A non-zero, there is an element, namely A inverse, or you can say 1 by, such that A into A inverse is equal to 1. This A inverse is known to be a multiplicative identity. Yeah, sorry, it is known to be a inverse of a element A. 1 is known to be a multiplied identity. Now this DL, that is known to be a distributive law. Here multiplication distribute over this addition. The value of A into B plus C is equal to AB plus AC for all ABC. The set Q also has an order structure, namely this, satisfying following property. So what is the first property regarding the order? Let me call it as O1. It says given A and B, either A less equal B or B less equal A. Second property, if A less equal B and B less equal A, then A is equal to B. The third property says if A is less equal B and B is less equal C, then A less equal C. The fourth property says if A is less equal B, then value of A plus C is less equal B plus C. And fifth property says if A is less equal B and suppose C is any element which is greater equal 0, then the value of AC is less equal value of BC. Now algebraic number. A number is called an algebraic number if it satisfies a polynomial equation, namely Cn x raised to n, Cn minus 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus so on C1x plus C0 equal to 0, where the coefficient namely C0, C1 up to Cn are integer. The Cn is not equal to 0 and n is greater equal. So a number is called an algebraic number if it satisfies a polynomial of this form. Now remember, rational numbers are always algebraic number because they satisfy some polynomial. Now the most important set, the set of real number, that is denoted by this R. Now R has certain properties. The following are consequence of the field properties. A plus C is equal to B plus C implies A equal to B. This is known to be a cancellation law. Value of A into 0 is equal to 0 for all A. Value of minus A into B is nothing but minus AB for all AB. Value of minus A into minus B is same as AB for all AB. If I have AC equal to BC where C is some non-zero element, then I can cancel C. So this is again known to be a cancellation law. So AC equal to BC and C not equal to 0 implies A equal to B. Now if I have that the product is 0, let's say AB equal to 0, then either A equal to 0 or B equal to 0 for all A, B, C in R. The following consequence of the properties of an order field. So R is also an order field. If A is less equal B, then what I have? Minus B is less equal minus A. If A is less equal B and C is some less equal 0, then what I have? BC is less equal AC. If A is any number which is greater equal 0, B is any number which is greater equal 0, then the product of this A and B is also greater equal 0. So this is very important. Square of any real number is always 0 or it is greater than 0. So always remember, square is always positive or it is 0 actually for all A. And what do you know? 1 is always greater than 0. If 0 is less than A, then 0 is less than 1 by A. If 0 is less than A, then 0 is also less than 1 by A. 1 by A I am denoting by A raised to minus 1. If I have A and B such that is A is less than B and but both are positive, then 1 by B is less than 1 by A. And this is true for all A, B, C in R. So all this property is true for any real number A, B, C in R. Now remember, A less than B means A is less equal B and A not equal to B. So whenever we say or whenever we compare two numbers, then we have basically these properties. Now remember absolute value of A. We define mod A is equal to A for all A greater equal 0 and mod A is equal to minus A if A is less equal 0. Mod A is called the absolute value of A. The basic properties of the absolute value are as follows. Mod of A is always greater or equal to 0 for all A in R. Mod of AB is same as mod A into mod B for all AB in R. And mod of A plus B is less equal mod A plus mod B for all AB in R. So remember these properties regarding the absolute values. Now this is also important one which is usually required in case of the Riemann integration, maximum and minimum of a set. Let S be a non-empty subset of R. If S contains largest element, let's say S0, that is S0 belong to S, and S is less equal S0 for all S in S, then we call S0 the maximum of S, and you write S0 is equal to maximum of S. If S contains a smallest element, then we call the smallest element as the minimum of S, and we usually write it as min S. Now upper bound, lower bound of a set. Let S be a non-empty subset of R. If a real number M satisfies certain properties, namely, if a real number M satisfies S is less equal to M for all S in S, then M is called an upper bound of S, and the set capital S is said to be bounded above. So any set which is having a upper bound is known to be bounded above. If a real number small m satisfies the property, namely small m is less equal to S for all S in S, then small m is called a lower bound of S, and the set capital S is said to be bounded below. That is, a set having a lower bound is known to be bounded below, and the set which is bounded above as well as bounded below is known to be a bounded set. So thus S is bounded if there exists a real number m that is minimum and m that is maximum, such that S is containing the closed interval m to capital M. Supremum and infimum of a set. Let S be a non-empty subset of R. If S is bounded above and S has a least upper bound, then we will call it the supremum of S and denote it by sup S. If S is bounded below and S has the greatest lower bound, then we call it infimum of S and denote it by infimum of S. Note that unlike maximum, minimum, supremum and infimum may or may not belong to the set. Now this is the important one, that is a completeness axiom. Every non-empty subset S of R that is bounded above has a least upper bound. In other words, supremum of S exists and is a real number. Archimedean property: if A is positive, B is positive, then for some positive integer n, we have Na greater than B. Now denseness of Q: if AB is in R with A is less than B, then there is a rational number R in Q such that R lies between A and B. So between any two real, there is a rational. And these are some of the exercises which you can try to understand the concept which I have illustrated. Thank you for watching.